What's up, Foxy people? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a Cricut tutorial. So of course the most common thing people think of when they think of Cricut is t-shirts and decals and tumblers, cups, that kind of stuff. But you can also make so much more. Anything you can print, you can make. This is where the feature print and cut comes into play. So it's exactly as it sounds. Print, then cut. So you will need a printer for this. You will end up printing off the image and then the Cricut will cut out a round. So if you're making planner stickers or envelope labels, you want to cut a family portrait into a certain design, anything like that. Now you can also use print and cut when it comes to shirts and decals and tumblers and that kind of stuff. Whereas with vinyl, the images that you have to select are more clean, crisp lines, usually only maybe 10 colors or less. And print and cut, you can do the more detailed type pictures. So portraits, anything with shading or shadowing, blurry type photos, anything like that. So if it was just a simple image or a word or something like that, then you would just cut it out of vinyl, easy peasy. But if you wanted one of these more detailed colored images, usually with licensed images, or again, anything with even the shadowing of, like, say, Mickey, Olaf, anything like that. Of course, I have to go the Disney route, but this is where you would use print and cut. Now you can use sticker paper, there's printable vinyl, there's even printable HTV, or even if you just want something cut out for, like, say, scrapbooking, you want to print something on cardstock and cut it out a certain way. Anything that needs to be printed and then cut on the machine, that is what print and cut is, and that is what we're talking about today. And of course, just like all my Cricut tutorials, I'm also going to show you any problems that could arise while doing print and cut, because there's so many. Every project could have so many problems. So let's get into it. Okay, so we're just going to start by finding an image to work with. Yeah, this one's fine. And see how it has like the shading and stuff around the white? That's what I was talking about. So this one would be perfect for print and cut. And then we're just going to upload it like normal. If you need to, like, a tutorial on how to do uploads and whatnot, I will link some videos down below. Now, because I downloaded a PNG, apparently, I didn't have to worry about erasing any background or whatever. So easy. We're just going to click here on the print and cut image instead of saving it as a cut image. If it was a cut image, it would just do the silhouette. So we're just going to cut out, or we're going to save it as a print and cut so that it has all the color and the detail and whatnot. I'm just going to throw some words around here. This isn't for an actual project. I'm just doing an example for this specifically. So we're going to set everything to print and cut. Now if I go to make it, it's going to do the words in one area and then the image on the other, because it has to be a specific size. And so I'm going to select them all, bring them down to the proper size. And I do talk about the sizing in a little bit, but I'm going to bring it down a bit and then make it so now it's the good size, but it's not where I wanted it to be. So we're going to have to select everything and attach down here on the bottom. And then also flatten. With print and cut, you need to flatten it. So there we go. That is how we want it set up. And this black square around it, that is just the sensor lines for the machine to be able to read it. It wouldn't cut that square. So we're going to go and send it to the printer. Now make sure you turn off the bleed. and then print it, it will send it to the printer. Now this is what happens if you don't turn off the bleed. It kind of bleeds around, you don't really have the crisp lines. So I'm out of black ink, which wouldn't be a problem because obviously it's a colored image, and like I said, this is just an example anyways. However, we are going to run into a problem in just a second, and it's a very common problem, so I'm going to explain how to fix it. So normally you would hit send to the printer, print it off, and then cut it. However, because I printed them earlier, and this can happen even if you don't have a printer, you could probably print them off at a print shop and then follow this next step. So then you would go over here to the right and click I've already printed it, and you'll just go straight to the machine for cutting. So we're going to load it like we do any other material and any other project. And right now it's trying to scan for the sensor marks, so that black square I was telling you about. But because I don't have any black ink, there is no black square. So it's not being able to read the sensors. Now I've also seen that even when your printer does print out the sensor box, the machine still doesn't read it sometimes. So there's 3 ways to fix that, and I'm going to show you each one of those ways. So this is what your screen would look like, showing that it's scanning, and then you'd get the pop-up saying that they can't read it. So all you have to do is go along and with a black Sharpie, black thick marker, whatever, draw in those marks. And like I said, even if your machine did print the outline square, sometimes it's not thick enough, sometimes it doesn't read, whatever. So your first step would be to try and just go over the lines with a black marker and see if that helps. So we just reload it again and test it, and it's working. So now it's going to cut out the image for me. So as you can see, it cut out each individual letter and then the Olaf image. So it all depends on what you want for your project. Maybe you want it this way, maybe you're doing stickers, maybe it's printable vinyl, whatever the case is. Now if you don't want all the letters to cut out separately, what you would do is you just add a box. I'm going to turn it white just so that it doesn't color it. I'm using white paper so it would look almost invisible. Just move it to the back. And make the square as big of the image as it needs to be. So obviously you would measure what you were putting the image on, and you would know your dimensions. So you would just put the square down to however big that would be, select everything and attach it, and then of course flatten it again. And then once you go to make it, you just continue on with the other steps like I showed you previously. Send to printer and then cut it. So here's another one of those. If the sensors are still not being picked up by the machine, you can take just clear tape and tape over the sensor lines. I'm not going to do all of them because obviously I know now that the machine was picking up my marker, but this is just an example. You would just put it over the sensor lines, and then usually the machine will read it then. And now you can see it cut out just the square, and the images and the image and the words are attached to that square. If you were using a different colored paper, you would probably make the square whatever color that paper was. And always, this is going to be in my quick tips video, but always turn over your mat when you're taking a product off of the mat instead of pulling it off the mat. How many times can I say mat? So this other tip I want to show you when it comes to print and cut.
someone had asked me about this image specifically because they were having a hard time with the fact that it was trying to cut out all the lines. Now, as you can see, when I go to remove the background, it's removing part of the body as well. And that is because on the side and on the fingers there, as you can see, there's gaps in the lines. They're not solid lines. So if I were to cut it right now, that's what it would cut out as, all those lines. Now the way to fix this, it is very time consuming, but there is a way to fix it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go back and try and upload it again, and then zoom in, and before you erase the background, go to the eraser. Make it whatever size you need to, and you're just going to outline the image. Like I said, it's kind of time consuming depending on what the image is. I wasn't trying to be perfect here, but basically you just want to give it a solid outline. Hopefully that makes sense. You'll see it in a minute, but and then this will help cut it out as just the one solid image instead of all of those separate lines. And once you're done with that outline, then you can go ahead to the wand and erase the background. Now you can already see the difference that the inside didn't clear out, right? So then the same process is go ahead, save it as a print and cut, and cut it out as needed. So here's where I'm going to touch on the sizing for print and cut. With vinyl and stuff, you can cut any size you want, really, or whatever size fits on the mat. With print and cut, you are limited. For some reason, you are limited. So for example, let's say I'm going to spread it out super big here. If you go over, you're going to see that little warning sign, and when you go to make it, it's going to say that it's incompatible. And like I said, because there's that restriction, right? So the max you can do for print and cut is 6.25 by 9.75. Or the other way around, sorry, 6.75 by 9.25. And that can be either way. It doesn't have to be height or width. It would just change the orientation from landscape to portrait or whatever. And then same thing, send it to the printer and then print it, and then cut it right away or cut it later. So this is the third way to fix if your machine is not reading the sensor line. So we've redrawn over with a black marker, we've taped down, put tape over the lines. If it still doesn't work, turn off all your lights. I know it looks like my lights are on right now, but it's daytime. And of course my machine was working, but I've even seen if you turn off all your lights, it will help read the sensor marks better. And as you can see, it comes out, it cut out like just the outline of it rather than all those little lines of the robe and whatnot. Now here's a tip for anybody that does planner stickers or any sort of stickers, right? So we're going to pretend we have a sticker that is 20 inches high and say we want 20 of them. Okay, so we're going to duplicate, whatever. Then you go to make it. Well, the way that the machine sorts it out, it's going to end up cutting on 2 pages. However, you can put this all on 1 page. So you'll make a square with the 6.25 by 9 or 6.75 by 9.25. I just changed the color just so that you could see his hairs or whatever. And you're gonna physically or manually put these on this square. And as you can see, I could fit even more than 20 on this. You can squeeze them in any which way, and then go ahead and just delete that square. Select all, attach, and flatten, and go to make it, and you will see they're all on that 1 page. So the key here is making that square that is the maximum amount that the cut can hold, and then putting your images all, like squeezing them in within that box. Obviously it doesn't even have to be the same image like I duplicated Olaf here. It could be with planner stickers, there's words and phrases and different things like that, right? So this is the way to fit them all onto one sticker page. And because I deleted that square, this is going to be like the first example I did. So they cut them all out individually. Now, of course, if I cut this on sticker paper, I'd be able to use these as stickers and put them wherever I wanted. Again, in planners. I don't know where else you use stickers, scrapbooks, anything like that. So this is a really good tip for anybody that does do a lot of stickers and cutting and you feel like you're wasting a lot of product.
So there you have it. That is how you do print and cut with a Cricut. Biggest thing to remember is that if it's clean, crisp, solid images, then you can go with vinyl and HTV and that kind of stuff. But if it's more detailed, a lot of small details, a lot of colors or specific colors, watercolors, any kind of technique like that, you're gonna, even portraits, you're gonna wanna go the print and cut route. As well, hopefully I answered any problems that have come up while you've tried this. And if I didn't, leave a comment down below. Let me know any problems that you have come across while doing print and cut, and maybe we can do a part 2 of this. Don't forget to check out my Cricut playlist of the absolute beginner basic videos. I run through everything that you need to know as a beginner, even as a newbie that you may not, or you may have come across new problems. Hopefully that answers that, or there's a video to help you with that. If this video helped you at all, please give it a big thumbs up. It really is a free way for you to help support me and help support my channel. And it also lets me know that this is the kind of content that you enjoy. And if you like this kind of content, or you just like my face, or any other mommy hacks, Disney planning, wedding planning, DIYs, that kind of stuff, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. We're over 400 now, and I'm so happy, and I'm so blessed, so thankful to have you all. And of course, make sure you have your bell notification turned on so that you are notified every time I upload a video, whether it's Cricut tutorials or any of the other lifestyle things. Let me know what topic you would like to see next in the comments down below. As always, guys, thank you so much for tuning into this video. Do all the things, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys. You can use note pictures. What am I saying? No. If you're if you got any, what is the word? Nope. Let me know what kind of tulip. And as always, I know I'm going always sleepy. Never know what to say.